Long ago, the world was primitive and full of magic. Chaos ruled the land as one barbaric leader overthrew another, and so on. The land was divided, and armies made up of the best magic wielders started defending territories. These armies waged war against each other for countless generations. Eventually, one man sought to end the violence and destruction. He journeyed deep into the mountains of the earth and found the Guiding Crystal, a giant and beautiful rock of unfathomable beauty. It was the source of all the world's magic. He knew that if it was destroyed, it would either rid the world of magic or end all existence. He decided that either outcome was better than the current reality. Basking in the glow of the crystal, he gained knowledge and created the first beam sword. Using all his might, he thrust the beam sword into the crystal, and it was at that moment that the multiverse was born. For the crystal broke the very fabric of space and time. The world was shifted into multiple realities. At first, there was only 4 parallel worlds. In one world, the crystal had simply destroyed the universe, killing all. In the second, the crystal had become sand and spread evenly across the land, changing the landscape and the people. This was the birth of what you know as the Mushroom Kingdom. In the third world, the crystal transformed into 3 goddesses, the goddess of courage, the goddess of power, and the goddess of wisdom. And they rebuilt the world, becoming what we now know as Hyrule. And in the fourth world, the crystal was destroyed except for 3 small shards. These shards became known as the Fear Stone, the Love Stone, and the Truth Stone. It was in this fourth world that the man survived. He had succeeded in his quest. No one in the world had retained their magic, except for him. And it was his family that would protect the stones and lead humanity towards salvation. The Love Stone was broken down and turned into the great sword Excalibur to protect his loved ones. The Fear Stone was embedded in cloth so that whomever wore the fabric would become powerful enough to defeat his enemies. And the Truth Stone, which gave immortality to the living and death to anything else, was buried deep underground. For years, 4 universes existed, but in the land of Hyrule, Ganon had abused the power of his world. This sent a shock once again through the fabric of time and space. And then, after that, any choice made by any person created a new universe. If one day you walk left, you've just created a new reality where you turned right. So you see, anything and everything is not only possible, but has most likely happened. The man you know as Rathnar forced me to take him back into the past of this world. He wanted to kill you as an infant, but I had him send the baby to another time and place. This didn't change anything for you, but created a new reality where you never grew up here, and there was no one to stop Bowser or Ganon. And thus, a more powerful Rathnar grew up in this twisted reality. He calls himself Omega. He is the one who almost killed Luigi. But he isn't the only one who's come to this world. Another Rathnar, who comes from a world where Hyrule is much more technically advanced, is here with them. Once I finally managed to get away from Rathnar, I put a new plan into action. I retrieved 2 powerful versions of you, Mario. The veteran plumber knight, who is as incredibly strong as he is smart, and the baby that Rathnar sent away. He grew up in a post-apocalyptic future where everyone lives in a radiated wasteland or lives underground in vaults. I placed him in Vault 64. There he grew up, and eventually he ventured out into the wasteland to become a great warrior. I have brought these Marios here to help you defeat Rathnar. But sadly for me, I know in my heart that none of this would have happened if I hadn't let him use me. I am cursed. As a little girl, I was loved by my parents, but when I was around 5, I received my powers. Unable to control them, I spun into different times and realities, and was never loved by my parents again. I met a sentient star being known as Luma, who showed me how to control my power. But by the time I figured out how to come home, my mother was dead, and my father was no longer the great man he used to be. He had transformed into a man I didn't recognize. That is why, Mario, why I want to help you, why you mean so much to me, because you are my father.